Hey everyone, it's Matt with my Model Y adventure, and today I have version 3 of the rotating screen, which is supposed to have it so when you install it, it's not lowered. The existing, what I have right now is a version 2, and it does rotate side to side. It can rotate up and down, but this also lowers your screen by about an inch. So this one is supposed to not lower your screen at all while still giving you that flexibility to rotate the screen. So stay tuned and I'll do a direct comparison of V2 versus V3 and see if it's worth it to have this new rotating screen bracket. Stay tuned. So we're gonna just do some quick measurements here. I have a tape measure, and I know each Model Y, Model 3 can be slightly different build quality depending on the year of your car. So this may not match exactly, but as of right now, it looks like it is about 5 3/4 of an inches, basically from the bottom of the screen to the center console here. If I just do a quick measurement from the dash, that's about 3 1/4, and that's roughly the same thing on that side. So I'll do measurements after version 3 is installed, and we can do that direct comparison. But to work on installing the screen, the first thing you want to do is turn off the screen power. So I'm going to go down here to service, is it safety? All the way to the bottom and click power off. Are you sure you want to turn the power off? What I do recommend before you do this, open your door, because otherwise when you open it, it will turn the car back on. And don't put your foot on the brake pedal. So I'm going to go ahead and click power off. You can hear the HVAC system turned off, the main screen turned off, my dash screen turned off. So that's all done. Let me go through what's in this kit, and then we'll go kind of through the removal of the existing screen and how to put the new one on. So it does come with a new cover on the bottom of it. These holes here are for the temperature sensor that's behind the screen that monitors the interior temperature. So I'm going to put that off to the side. There is some trim, this piece here, which basically what the mount goes into. You can kind of maybe see back here, that piece that's there is in essence what this piece is going to be, but kind of upside down. There's one underneath there. This is that piece we saw on top. Oh, wrong way. So this is that piece from the top that we saw. That's right there is what this one is. The other one was one that goes on the bottom of it. And then the last thing that's in here is the actual mount. So the previous version kind of had this ball joint here, about an inch lower. So this should hopefully then give you some more real estate back underneath your screen. So if you have your phone here, you should be able to see it a lot better, because right now it is very hidden with the amount that this screen is lowered. They also include in this kit the kind of Allen wrench, or was this Torx security bit that you're going to need to install it. There are a couple of, there's a wrench here, some more Allens, and then some bolts. So it includes everything that you need to install this, which is great to see. So let me grab the tools out of here, and then we're going to remove the bottom part underneath the screen here, so then we can get ready to take the actual screen off. So the first step, I thought I was recording, but apparently I was taking a picture of everything. So the only thing I did was just loosen this temperature sensor that's here. I just used this included pry tool, stuck it in the corner, pried down, and then that was able to basically come off here. Apologies for the glare. If you kind of see it a little bit coming through, the sun is at the perfect angle up here that it can kind of block or come through kind of like that. So I'm gonna do my best to not get that in the video here. So after you loosen the temperature sensor, you can see it's held on with 2 screws, one right there, one right there. You can just leave this kind of dangling here right now because you are going to put this into the new trim piece here, and there's the holes you can see that those screws will go into. I did forget to also mention the kit comes with some instructions here. They are very easy to follow, but in the event that you wanted to use these instead of watching this video, entirely up to you. I'm just putting it off to the side there. I'm not going to need that. But you'll kind of see here, hopefully we can avoid those glares. There we go. There are these 2 bolts, this one right here, this one right here, that you're going to want to remove. Now, because I have the version 2, it actually uses different sized bolts than what the kit has. So the included tool here is not going to work for me. I'm going to have to go grab another Allen wrench, but I believe this does fit with the stock bolts. So let me go grab a wrench. I'm just going to remove these 2 screws or bolts here. I don't need to film that because it's just undoing some bolts, and that's going to help us or allow us to basically remove the screen. So let me get those bolts out and we'll, I guess, continue on. So I've gone ahead and removed those 2 bolts. You can kind of see here, those are empty, and I just kind of have them sitting right here underneath the screen. So once you have those out, you can pull the screen towards you. Don't pull too hard, because in the back there is this wiring harness that's connected to the screen, and you of course don't want to break that. I would also recommend, if you don't have like a screen protector, or even if you do, so you don't do any damage to the screen, put like a cloth or something down here on the bottom. That way it kind of protects it. So the screen is plugged in with this wiring harness here. There's this trim piece, which is held on by these 2 Torx screws or bolts that I'm going to remove, because it makes accessing this inner wiring harness connection here in this white plastic piece so much easier to remove. So the kit does come with the tools here, and I'm just going to go ahead and remove these bolts or screws, forget which one they are, on both sides here, and then that will make accessing this a lot easier. So let me undo these 2 bolts or screws, and then I'll show you how to remove this wiring harness. All right, so I've removed those 2 screws holding on this trim piece. Again, this trim piece comes with the version 2 screen tilt. This is not the stock one on here. And this purple clip I've seen in some other videos. I think it was either a blue, maybe a green color. So this, again, can vary based on your model, the year it was produced. But around it is kind of just this white plastic kind of like shroud. It just can kind of unclick and just go off to the side. It's a little hard to do one-handed, so I probably will have to remove this with 2 hands. And put that off to the side. And then we need to remove the wiring harness connection to the actual screen. Again, when you're pulling on anything, don't pull the actual wires. You're going to want to pull the harness, because you do not want to damage or break any of these connections. So let me get this white clip off of here, and then I will unplug the screen so we can continue on with the installation. So removing this connection is actually very simple. When it's plugged in to the vehicle, there is this let me rotate it here. The silver part in the middle. You basically take the included trim tool and you're going to push in right at the center there, and then you can grab onto the sides with your other hand and then just pull straight out. So it's really easy to do. There should not be a lot of force required to remove this. So once you have that unplugged, and I just put this white shroud piece off to the side so I don't lose it. So hope that kind of helps explain how to remove it. Again, I'm sorry, it's a little difficult with one hand just to do so. So once you have this in essence removed, this of course is the aftermarket let me move the camera here. This is the aftermarket shroud that comes on the version 2 screen rotation. So I'm going to go ahead and just pull and remove that. And we're going to want to remove, there are some bolts that you can kind of see right here. And the other one is right here that we're going to want to remove. So that way we can remove the stock rotation. I'm sorry, the version 2 rotation. The stock one is just going to have those 2 bolts there, again, with this kind of shroud. Now, I do remember this was kind of a bit of a puzzle to remove, to go around these rotating. I had, I think, to like rotate it one way and then pry it a little bit. Like, it was a bit of a hassle to do. So just keep that in mind. So I'm going to put this in the back so I don't confuse it with the new version. So I'm going to use the included wrench in here. Here it is, to remove these 2 bolts so that I can get ready to install the new version 3 one. So I've undone those 2 bolts, and then this just simply slides out. Come on. Oh, there we go. So this is version 3. You can see how thick and bigger this is compared to version 2. It's a lot thinner, and that should hopefully help. Let me see if I can put one there, which is V3, and then V2. You can see this is a lot thicker, which this kind of shaft that brings down the screen that much. So there is, I'm already going to see a significant difference in kind of using version 3 versus version 2. So once you have that removed, we can go ahead now. Would probably be a good time when you have the screen off and access to remove the screws holding on the temperature sensor. So let me do that very quickly so that way I don't forget to do so. And then we're going to work on installing this new bracket into the holes in here and then mounting everything back onto the screen. All right, so that V2 screen rotation is out. It's time to install the new one, V3. You may have seen this new strip down here. I had this one installed already, but it was actually in backwards when I put it in because I didn't know if I was going to like this here. So I took it out and then put it back in the correct way now to kind of match the rest of the ambient light. It's easier to see right now because it's darker underneath the dash than it is like on the side panel where that one is. So I'll do a separate video on this ambient kit because I've seen a lot of questions about it. So back to the screen rotation. So there's these 2 little knobs. You can see it, one right here in the end by this, my pinky, the other one right here. That's in essence to help when you're putting this in to, I guess, stop so it doesn't go any farther. So push both of these in basically until it stops, and then grab the new bevel here that's going to go over the screen. Again, you may have to rotate this for it to fit, but this seems to be doing a pretty good job. And then of course feed the wires through underneath here for the temperature sensor and then the screen. And I'll fumble in here doing this one-handed, so just forgive me while I'm trying my best here. I'll probably, is it gonna fit? Okay, maybe. Got it. All right, so once this is kind of in a good position here, you're going to use those screws that came with, or I shouldn't say came with, but they were holding on the version 2 mount here. You're just reusing those same ones to basically go into here. So let me get these 2 bolts installed, and then we're going to be able to get the rest of the trim piece, which I have here. That's going to go back onto the mount, or onto the screen here, that we'll be able to put on here. And in essence, this is going to be able to sit on top of here and be able to rotate. So let me get these 2 bolts in. This is just the reverse of what we did before. So in essence, you're going to put this kind of over the wiring. You don't need to do the wiring yet because you can do that after, or you can kind of have this held up here, use 2 hands and plug this back into here. Whatever one really works for you. Just don't forget when you're done to put this white clip back over the hole that is holding on, I'm sorry, not the hole, that's holding on the plug here. So I hope that makes sense. I'll kind of, before I put the screen back on here, I'll summarize again everything that's done. All right, so I have this mount back on. I have the screen plugged back in. I have that white connector. These are the same 2 screws on either side here that were here stock. And I have the bolts tightened on each side there. And then I will call it a tip. Just make sure when you put this trim piece on, you have this opening at the top, because this is going to go right here. And of course, if you have this backwards, it's not going to fit right. So now that that is installed, let me line it up here. Whoops. Can I get this camera there? So in essence, well, let me call this out again. So there's these two slots right here, that the screen is going to slide into. So I'll use two hands for that. So that way it's a little bit easier for me, but you're going to slide that into the holes here. So I have the screen mounted. I haven't used, they actually include two new bolts. I haven't put those in yet. You can see the holes. Where's my finger? Right here and right here. So then after you put the screen on, don't forget to put those bolts on, because otherwise your screen is just basically being held on by gravity. So I'm going to grab these two new bolts here and install them. Here's one of them. And if I can try to match it up in the camera, there we go. Just going to thread this up into here and then use the second one. Let me see if I can line it up. There we go. So let me get these tightened down, and then we can go through measuring everything and seeing how everything looks with the new screen mount. All right, let me zoom out a little bit. So I have those two bolts installed, and I can feel, or not feel, I can see like this is visually a little bit closer to me than the prior screen. So let me grab the tape measure here, and I'll kind of get the screen kind of level. So from the dashboard, it is now 4 3/4 roughly, maybe close to 5 inches. And on this side, it's about 4.5. So I probably have it tilted a little bit more towards me than the passenger, just because of my perspective. Let's see. 4 3/4, and then 4 3/4. So that's pretty close. And then height-wise, we can see this is over or just around 7 inches. So it definitely does raise the screen up by over an inch. I think it was like 5 3/4. I'll have to double check the footage to see. I don't remember what I had measured it at, but here, let me press the brake pedal and turn the car back on, just to prove, you know, that I didn't break my screen. To me, at least, crisis averted. And then the last thing is this temperature sensor. So in one of the previous steps, I just basically swapped over to the new one. You're going to want to put this temperature sensor into the hole up here. And let's see which way goes which. I'm guessing those clips are going to go into the back area where there's kind of two holes already. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. I may need two hands to make sure I don't break this and be able to see everything. So let me double check and fit which way this goes. I think that might be good right there. Yep. There we go. So those two clips, or I should say pieces that go here, and then that just fits there, and then the temperature sensor is going to read the temp right through here. So visually, not any issues. It does come out maybe another inch or so. I don't have a stock, or I don't have the stock screen mount. It's somewhere in my basement, buried in a box. So I don't know where that is to be able to do a stock measurement. So if you have not installed the screen mount yet, feel free to, add a comment. Maybe I'll ask ChatGPT or see if I can ask a buddy of mine that has a Model Y without a screen rotation, what the measurements are, to be able to really give stock versus aftermarket comparisons. So now you can see there's actually a lot more room here to be able to see whatever devices you have here. I don't mind that it comes out a little bit more. I didn't wish that was necessarily the case. If it was more pushback, that might be better. Maybe it'll just take some getting used to. So I didn't even mention where I think I picked up this kit. I got it from Tes Studio, where I've gotten a bunch of other accessories. I'm very happy with the quality and the customer service with them. And my code adventure saves, is it 22%, something like that. And I think this new version was like $100. I'm in essence going to sell my V2 mount that used to be here to a friend of mine for like $50. And I'm going to install it for him, so that way I get some money back, but I get the newest version that doesn't lower the screen. So hope you guys found this video helpful. If you did, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, check out my other videos. But again, this was Matt from My Model Y Adventure.